This month, John Higgins becomes president of BCS, taking over the baton from Rebecca George. John was Director General of Tech UK's predecessor, Intellect, and then Digital Europe. He is a senior advisor for Burson, Cohn & Wolfe and is on the advisory board of the EU Intelligent Cities Challenge. He was appointed CBE in 2005 for his services to the IT industry. Last year's presidency was defined by COVID and the lockdown and the rapid changes that firmly highlighted the pivotal role that tech now plays in every aspect of our daily lives. John joins me now to discuss his hopes for the coming year. Firstly, for those who don't know you, could you tell me a little bit about your start in IT?
I started, like so many of us did, as a programmer, systems analyst, project manager, putting systems in to improve the performance, the effectiveness and efficiency of businesses of all different shapes and sizes. It was great fun. I really loved doing project work, did lots of different things, worked with lots of different businesses. And then I also had a fun time when a friend of mine asked me if I would like to apply for a job to run a business that allowed musicians to play online together. And the upside of that was it was based in San Francisco with recording studios in London. And that was great fun. We launched the product very unusually for tech. We launched it at a series of events in New York nightclubs. So I really did enjoy all my time in sort of tech directly, as it were. And then for the last few years of my career, I've been an advocate for the tech industry, first, as you said, with Intellect, Tech UK's predecessor, but then with Digital Europe in Brussels, setting out the points of view and opinions of the tech industry into the European policymaking system. So it's been a great time. And I'm really pleased now to have a chance to take this great role with what I'm referring to as Team BCS.
Obviously, COVID's had a massive impact on how we use tech now. It's been transformational as far as working, studying from home, the use of apps for track and trace, algorithms to decide exam grades. Where does BCS fit into all this?
Well, BCS has been a great study, actually, in an organisation having to respond to COVID. I mean, you think about all the events now online, about us doing this together, recording it online. It's completely changed the way we've worked. We've learned, like all organisations, have learned a lot about it. There's no doubt that tech is going to be, and of course needs to be, at the heart of the COVID recovery. It's going to help businesses continue to find new ways of generating revenues, of reducing costs, of making people's working lives better. So tech will be at the heart of the recovery. But of course, it comes as we have a ever more sort of pervasive technology that impacts all of the things we do. It does create new anxieties, and those anxieties become more widespread. They're not just individual anxieties, but in a way, societal anxieties. And I think BCS has a large part to play in really examining those and helping to deal with them. I mean, just some examples, like as we saw with the A-levels, people saying, well, can I trust that algorithm? Or, when we think about the big debate about, is my personal data safe online? Either that's from people wanting to use it in ways I haven't given them the authority to, or just stealing it. There's so much scamming going on. And what about all the electronic gadgetry that we're using? I mean, how many devices have you got on your desk in front of you? I mean, what's the energy consumption doing to climate change? These are questions that people are asking, and BCS has an important role to play, helping society and individuals work out those anxieties and deal with them.
What about the role of BCS as the professional body for IT? What role are we going to play over the next year, next decade or so? What's your view on that?
Well, if dealing with these anxieties, you could almost say, right, make way for the professionals, because one way of reassuring people that tech can deliver the benefits it needs to deliver, but at the same time deal with those worries, is to know that the people who are developing and deploying the digital technologies can be trusted. And one sort of time-honored way of knowing that somebody can be trusted is because they belong to a professional body that has certified that they are both competent and ethical. So I really do think it's time for the professionals. Look out, here we come. And then you can trust us and we can deal with those anxieties.
At the BCS AGM, we heard from Rebecca George about the work that she's been leading on, particularly about diversity. Will that continue?
Very, very much so. I mean, it's worth just talking about what I mean by team BCS, because it might look like you get, a new president every year, but in fact, the president, the past president, and the deputy president do work as a team with continuity. So I've worked closely with Rebecca during her year as president, and she'll continue to be very much part of that team, together with Mayank Prakash, who it's great that we've got him as the deputy president. So we will work as a team. We do want to see continuity. And the team also has to include the members at large. I mean, that's one of the things that all of us want to do, is tap into that fantastic expertise of the membership, and also work with the really talented exec team that we have at BCS. So team BCS is, it's a real thing. And we will continue with a sharp focus on professionalism as the sort of overarching driver for us. It really is time for the professionals. Make way for the professionals. Here we come. But there are other three themes that immediately spring to mind that we will definitely keep or even sharpen our focus on. Will be diversity. And if you want to look at that from, I'm a mathematician at heart. I mean, if you want to look at the numbers of it, it's simply about having a broader talent pool that we can dip into. I mean, if we are disadvantaging, making it hard for certain groups to thrive in our sector, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. So there's a sort of economic rationale for having a diverse pool that we can dip into. But of course, there's also social justice, it goes without saying. So diversity, building on all the things that we've done over the years, and that Rebecca's really put a foot to the floor on in this last year, definitely going to be carrying on and doubling down on our efforts there. We're going to pick up the baton on digital poverty, working alongside other groups, other societies and associations that are focusing on this area. I mean, it's shocking that I think it's 9 million people in one way or another are unable to take advantage, to benefit from digital technology and all it can bring. We can do this now, but lots of people aren't able to engage in this way. So digital poverty is going to be a second big thing to us. And of course, climate change and sustainability. And there are two parts to that. There's being honest about tech's impact on that, the energy consumption of data centers, what we're doing to drive down our own carbon footprint, what we're doing to become more circular ourselves, improving our reuse and recyclability, but also what can tech do for the rest of society and the economy. And it's interesting, I mean, final point on this, Claire, it's really interesting to note that of the 750 billion euro fund that is the EU's Recovery and Resilience Fund. That's the money that they're making available to member states to help recover from COVID. Almost 60% of that fund has to be earmarked for projects that are green and digital. So between green and digital projects, it accounts for over half of that money. So member states, as they're looking to recover, do have to come up with projects that are both green and digital, and just shows you what importance the EU is placing on it. And of course, we need to do a similar thing here in the UK.
So that's all great. Fantastic focus on what you hope to be doing. Let's have a quick stock check, though. What about our own members, our own specialist groups?
Yeah. I mean, stock check's the right word, Claire. We do need to. I'm a great fan in this idea that what you need to do is get the lie of the land, an accurate picture of the lie of the land, understand where we are now, see what our assets are, what have we got to work with. And we've got fantastic assets in our membership. Our specialist groups are doing great things. Often, just getting on with stuff, the same with the branches. So what are the assets? What are we doing? What's the landscape? What are other organizations doing? And then decide on a plan, get everyone behind that plan. We're nearly at the point of having that landscape completed, amazingly, on all of those topics that I've just described. We've identified who else is doing what. We've still got to really work out what that we have captured all the things that specialist groups are doing. So we want to do that landscaping, work out what we're going to do, publish a plan, and then all get behind. It sounds simple, doesn't it? There's a lot of work there, but that's the way we're going about it.
How important is the BCS membership?
And we've got fantastic expertise, and we have to tap into that. I mean, I've worked in membership organizations now for a number of years, and really, when people come and talk to the president of the BCS, they're not talking to me because of my experience. They want me as the conduit to our members' expertise. What can you bring to the party? And we have to, we have to step up to that. We've got fantastic competence, as I said earlier. We've also got an ethical value that is sort of almost unique. So the competence and ethical values and the experience of our members is a really, really valuable asset. And our trick has got to be to tap into that, make the most of it, and use this to solve some of these really challenging, almost wicked problems that I referred to earlier.
And you want to be an accessible president, and you have plans for that.
Absolutely. And so one of the things we're going to do early on each of these areas is have open member meetings of one sort or another. We'll think for each one what is the best way to do it. But while we're waiting for that, if any member, or indeed somebody who'd like to be a member, has got anything they'd like to tell me about, great things we're doing, ideas that they might have, just indicate they'd like to be involved, then they can email me directly at president@bcs.uk. So that's president@bcs.uk.
Would it be fair to say that BCS is almost like a best kept secret? We've got this expertise, we've got these great voices that can add to the narrative of what is going on with the transformation of tech.
Our media coverage has increased 500%. So, more and more people are coming to ask us about these wicked issues and the anxieties of the day and the things that emerge. So yes, that's fantastic, but we clearly got to do more as well. One of the things I want us to do, we all want us to do more of this year, is have BCS's voice heard at some major external events. So, I mean, we often see BCS experts individually go and talk at events, and you don't know they're BCS experts. So we want to make more of that and make sure that people understand that this expertise they're tapping into is coming from the Institute.
So you're at the beginning of your presidency. How does it feel?
Oh, it's going to be such a fantastic year. I mean, the members that I've been working with so far, the staff I've been working with, Rebecca and Maya, I know we're going to have a great time and we're really going to make a difference this year. So I'm really looking forward to it.